we become so fucking black and white?
When this concept kind of got restructured into, oh no, my opinion is now my truth, and you become a liar if
Right.
you're going against my truth. Now you are a liar.
Yeah.
Versus you have a different opinion of some sort of topic that's got all kinds of nuance to it, all kinds of different points and information and everything.
Welcome to Elevated Life, Real Wellness and Transformation Podcast, where we walk alongside the internally driven individual as they transform their life through wellness, movement, mindset, and personal responsibility. If that's you, you're in the right place. Let's jump in.
We did a podcast the other day about, lots of different things, but one of the clips that came out of it was about protein, eating protein, how maybe everybody doesn't have to have the same trajectory of how much protein they're going to eat. And we put it out, and it was a really good podcast. Go check it out if you haven't. But we got a comment on it, and the comment was pretty fascinating, and we want to dig into that. So the comment was something to the effect of, there is no quote unquote your truth. There is only the truth. And it's a fascinating concept. So we thought we'd have a little chat about it.
Yeah. Yes, let's chat about it because, of course, I disagree with that based on my own lived experience. And I'm sure I don't want to speak for you. So what are your thoughts?
It's a concept that, like so many other things we've talked about on here, and you just see, in social media or just in life in general, it's a concept that is based in something that's very factual to me or honest or genuine, that has really been
Polarized?
Yeah. The first word I thought of was bastardized. Really,
Yeah.
because it's the concept in general of your truth. Of course, we all know the truth, and we could argue even about the truth, which leads us into that. But really, the idea being your truth versus your opinion.
Yeah.
And where things have gone, and we're going to dig into this, is more so people saying that's my truth when it could be just my opinion, versus actually having my truth. Because there is a concept of my truth versus your truth being different, and both of them being the truth.
So why don't you talk about that? Talk about what is truth or what's just an opinion versus your truth.
Well, the first thing, when I was going to comment back and ultimately decided not to, because we figured maybe it's better to address on here and don't want to get into weird arguments on Instagram or Facebook. I can't even remember if it was Instagram or Facebook.
I can't either.
But the first thing that I thought of was, okay, so let's pretend that I have a peanut allergy, which is a controversial subject in and of itself. But so my truth is peanuts could kill me.
Right.
So that's my truth. Is that the truth? For me, maybe not for you, but my truth is that, because that is a fact.
Yeah.
It might not be a fact for you.
Right.
And that's really the difference versus, let's go with something controversial and polarizing. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. That's my truth. Except that's not a fact. That's your opinion. And you could have reasons why you think that, and that's fine. But that's not a truth. That's not a factual concept. Right? Does that make sense? Am I explaining that
Absolutely.
correctly?
Yeah. In my head, I thought it was a step back for me because obviously anytime we get a negative comment, I want to step back and go, okay, instead of, jumping on it irrationally and, doing the whole keypad, let's fight online trick. It was like, okay, well, let's talk about this. And we had a conversation, and I thought, okay, well, plant medicine is pushed and pushed, and it's so good, and essential oils are part of that. Here's Jonna's truth. If Jonna puts essential oils on her body, she breaks out in a massive rash, right? That's my truth. There are people that guzzle essential oils and may not have a reaction. If I did that, I might die. So that's where this, all came about, is basically being able to have wisdom and discernment and understand you do have a personal truth, right? That has been kind of co-opted or downplayed by certain parts of society where, no, exactly what that guy said. There is no your truth. There's only the truth. Or the exact opposite of that, where the pendulum goes to the other direction, where, again, opinion becomes truth. So really it's about going inward and understanding that we all have our own personal truths. And that's just the facts. In terms of nutrition, we were just looking through last night different documentaries to watch. And one that popped up was like, what was the nutrition one? Like twins with nutrition.
Yeah, seeing if genes, they had some buzzwords, I can't remember, but basically saying, do genes make you healthy or unhealthy, or is it your diet? How much of an impact does either one have?
Right. And one of the things that was on the, what is it? The little part
preview.
that we watched. The preview was all humans are different. So this is a really hard thing to figure out. And it's true with nutrition, just like it's true with anything. And pigeonholing truth is where everything gets shoved into a box. Limiting beliefs happen. All of the things that we've talked about on this podcast.
We can also see it just in culturally and in society, where it used to be, going back in the Wayback Machine. We do that a lot, but I think that's what you do when you get to be our age.
Yeah.
Where it used to be people could have differing opinions on whatever. I believe in a little bit higher taxes for the social benefits of it. I believe in little lower taxes and that spurs the economy, whatever. That's just one example. But it wasn't my truth versus your truth. It was just, hey, this is the philosophy that I have. This is the philosophy that you have. And we can debate the points of it. And nobody's necessarily, factually right or wrong. It's just two sides of a different topic.
Yeah, I mean, when did we become so fucking black and white?
When one of the ideas being when this concept kind of got restructured into, oh no, my opinion is now my truth. And you become a liar. If you're going against my truth, now you are a liar.
Yeah.
Versus you have a different opinion of some sort of topic that's got all kinds of nuance to it, all kinds of different points and information and everything. But now I don't even see that anymore, because it's either if whatever the thing is, if it's my truth, then either you're lying or I'm lying.
Hey friends, if you're getting something out of this, connect with us on our social media platforms. We're at CJ Elevated Life _ on Instagram and TikTok, and CJ Elevated Life on Facebook and X. We're answering DMs, sharing daily content, and building community with people ready for real transformation. For now, hit subscribe wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We drop 2 new episodes every week. And if this episode resonates, share it. That's how we reach more people who are ready for change. You can also find everything at cjelevatedlife.com. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. I would say, like, with the protein thing, so when we posted that on TikTok, I had a ton of women go, oh my gosh, thank God someone is saying this because it's making me sick, or I don't feel good, or, all of the things. So does that completely negate how your body is responding to protein? Like,
Right.
just because Home Slice on Facebook or whatever said, there's only the truth. No, you have to eat this much protein. So then we then deny what our body is telling us just to live in what? His truth?
Right. Right.
I mean,
That ends up being, again, with the concept of truth or fact. When you look at that objectively, this wall exists. Yes, that is a fact. The opposite of it, unless you get into really weird, philosophical things, but the opposite of that would be this wall doesn't exist.
right.
Right. When you've got a fact, it either is or it isn't. So then when you've got something with all kinds of different, like the protein thing, if you're saying it isn't 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, if it's not that, then the opposite has to be it's nothing.
Yeah, totally.
If that becomes truth, then the opposite of that is nothing. And so then it's like with that following through that conversation, we're saying don't eat protein.
Yeah.
If the truth isn't 1.8 or 0.8 to 1.2, then protein is horrible and it's going to kill you, and whatever other completely opposite side of that. And so that's what we see with so much. It becomes my truth is the truth and everything else is 100% wrong, because that's how facts work.
Yeah, and you see this all over social media with all sorts of different topics, right? Because I could even go to the other side of the pendulum where it's, all animal products are just rotting death in your body. This is what it does to you. Well, in my experience, when I was a raw foodist, then transitioned into veganism, and I've talked about this a lot, my hair started falling out like I was on Ozempic double shot every day, like just handfuls of hair, because my body it needed some meat. And so when I started adding back in animal products in the form of meat, my hair stopped falling out. So that meant that my truth was that my body, my biochemistry at the time, needed red meat. That's what it needed. It didn't mean that I was some animal slaying asshole, whatever. My truth was, in order for me to function properly, my body was telling me, you need animal products.
And where we've gotten away from, I guess, to go back to your question of where did this happen or how did this happen? I don't know exactly when, but the reaction now from somebody like you who realizes my truth is I need red meat to help fuel my body. What you didn't do is then say, it is the truth that you must eat red meat.
Yeah.
Because it's not everybody's.
Totally. And you have that on the carnivore side as well. I mean, there's one lady specifically, I don't know her name, on Instagram, who's just like, if you're not a carnivore only, you're just a piece of shit. And we see this with everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing. And it's unfortunate, but we're talking about this because you need to have eyes to see and ears to hear, and quit denying your own personal truth, whatever that is, to appease someone else's extremism. It's so everywhere now. And you can hear those voices coming in and feel less than, or feel like you need to deny yourself. But you do have a personal, individual truth. That's really what, I want people to know is to listen to themselves first before they're reaching for a fucking guru.
Along those same lines, another actionable step, I would say, in that listening to yourself is understanding the concept that just because you are correct doesn't mean someone else is incorrect. Your rightness doesn't equal someone else's wrongness.
Yeah.
So me being correct about I need red meat, that's what fuels my body the best, doesn't make anyone who doesn't eat red meat wrong.
Totally.
And so if you start to feel like that, like, oh no, this is my truth. Now I need to attack somebody else because they think a different way about whatever it might be, then maybe that's an opportunity for some looking back, internal reflection.
Totally.
And think, okay, what is this really based on? Is this based on my experience versus their experience, my genetics versus their genetics, my whatever? Or is it something factual? I don't know. But it's just a great opportunity to take a step back and not magnify the division of my truth versus your truth versus the truth.
Yeah. I mean, turns out, weird because we never say this, you need to look inward and really evaluate and then have compassion for other people. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. And instead of spewing your truth like it's some kind of fact when it's really an opinion and then causing division within that spewation out of your mouth, chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's just, that's the end all be all.
And
right
really,
there.
if you want to take it to even the next level, it's a fantastic opportunity to gain knowledge.
Yeah.
To share knowledge, to approach that situation. Again, we'll just stay with the protein thing and say, rather than saying, no, this is the way that it is. Like, well, this has been my experience. I've tried this. I tried eating all of this protein and I was literally getting sick. I could not keep it down. And so then, I modified and did whatever. And another person in that conversation could be like, hey, I eat 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight because that's what works for me.
Yeah.
And here's what I did. And then you can both get some understanding from each other's experiences. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. Both people are right, really, with their own thing. But talk about an opportunity to gain more insight into whatever that topic might be. I know we're talking protein, but it can be literally anything that you would talk to somebody else about.
It's so true. And it's really unfortunate that humanity has moved in a direction. Now, I think we're coming out of that, or there's some of the population that's coming out of it, where, we've talked about this before. We don't converse to understand the other and actually listen. We talk to wait until someone else has made their point, and then we can sound smarter. That is the vast majority of the population and I'm telling you right now that you are working in ego. That is either spiritual ego, food ego, exercise ego, religious ego, whatever that topic is. If you're not listening or conversing to understand, you're just conversing to get your point in there because you're so freaking smart and blah, blah, blah. That should be a red flag to your own self. Like, be aware of how you're communicating with people. Honestly.
I think that's a huge takeaway from what we're talking about right now. Because we like to give you all opportunities to find those areas where you can look inward, where you can, oh, hey, this is another cool chance for me to work on something. And that's a big one. And it's something that a lot of people do. A lot of people do, I think, unconsciously.
Totally. Not even being aware of a conversation. right? Being present in that conversation, or they just didn't know that they did it. And you don't know what you don't know, guys. I mean, we've said that endless.
Hey, quick pause. If this episode is hitting you and you're ready for real tools, here's what we built.
Head on over to cjelevatedlife.com, pick up the Rebuilt Method for Men
Whoa.
or the Rebuilt Method for Women, just $67 each. We also created the Parasite Detox Blueprint at $37. And this is actually the exact protocol we use ourselves.
And while you're there, sign up for the newsletter. You'll get the weekly action steps and new tools we've tested ourselves. Let's get back to the episode.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that a great point of it's certainly not, we're not saying this to have you point out, oh yeah, here's another way I'm fucked up, whatever. It's not a negative thing. It truly is just a chance to see those things.
Yeah, in order for us to change the world and build community and have what a lot of humans are craving right now, we have to learn that, number one, we are all different. We are. And just because Jonna can't eat 130 grams of protein without literally wanting to vomit or having massive digestion issues doesn't mean that something's wrong with her, or she's, not going to, build muscle better or whatever that is, right?
It also, sorry to interrupt, but it also doesn't mean that Jonna's saying no one should eat 130 grams of protein.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think that's what we've been conditioned to hear. If you hear Jonna saying that and you do it, then somehow Jonna's telling you you're wrong.
Yeah,
and that's not the case at all.
No.
And if you're feeling like that, then that's, again, another opportunity to look in yourself and think, why did Jonna's personal experience make me feel like I was doing something wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, because I would say that, with every one of the podcasts we do, we ask you to look inside yourself. We're not telling you what to do. We don't want to be the people that are telling people what to do, or that their thoughts are wrong, or the way they navigate their life is terrible. It's just our lived experience. And we're hoping that that is helpful for other people, right? But it's always look inside and listen to yourself. And again, you can always tell the people who are really trying to work on themselves are going to be compassionate and lovely and listen to you without putting you down or trying to get their word in or telling you you're wrong. Those are the people that, are trying to work on themselves. And the people that are not are going to tell you things like, there is no your truth. There is only the truth. And if you don't eat 130 grams of protein, you're going to wither away and, die of being under-muscled.
Yeah. And ironically, I'm guessing the truth aligns with their truth.
Yeah. What?
Weird.
What? That's so weird.
I just real quick.
There's no real quick. This is, yeah.
Then real slow.
Yeah.
I just want to reinforce, because this is important. It's so important, and we try to do it all the time, but reinforce, if you're in a situation where you're having a conversation or you hear something and these thoughts come to your head like, oh no, that's not the truth, this is the truth, or whatever that might be, just because you're having those thoughts, don't feel like that's a negative for you, because it's easy to slip into the well, I thought I was this evolved, elevated
or
person,
trying,
and now I'm still having these thoughts. That's good.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be, because you recognize that you had that thought.
It's called self-awareness.
Yeah. And now use the tools that you've developed to work through that. Understand why that was. Really dig into it within yourself and not just be like, oh, nope, I guess that didn't work. I
Yeah.
guess I haven't, taken any steps in this journey or whatever. So it's just, I really think it's important for us to constantly remind you all. I mean, like Jonna says all the time, it's the infinity loop.
Yeah.
It's constantly gonna.
Let's see. There we go. Now I can't do it with this hand. Okay, I can.
Yeah, check it out on YouTube if you want to see Jonna doing the infinity loop.
That's
But
funny.
anyway, I just think that's important.
Yeah, for
people
sure. And I also, just to add to that, if you are conversing with someone who is trying to tell you that you don't have a truth and, on that other end, that is a really good indicator that maybe it's not someone that you're ready to have a conversation with, right? It's not someone who's willing to listen and have compassion and love and really trying to understand. They are in a different place. And so walking away from that would be the better choice, in my opinion, because you're really just pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and they've got to go do their own thing and whatever. But we see this a lot with keypad warriors online, and, that's what spurred this on. Really, a lot of people like to hide behind their screens and, do this whole thing. It just tells you where their heart is and send them in love, right? We don't respond to negative comments. That's just not something that we do. I went back and forth on Instagram for a while with, some of on my own personal Instagram, I talk a lot about religion, and I've gone back and forth with people, and I just stopped. I stopped, right? It's like, okay, fine. I'm going to burn in hell. Okay, fine. God hates me, right? Like, I'm so happy that you can speak for God, right? So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Yeah. And if you enjoyed this podcast or any other podcast, please rate, review, share, find us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook at CJ Elevated Life.
And you can get all that stuff at cjelevatedlife.com.
Yeah.
Links to everything, links to the podcast, lots of other cool stuff on there as well.
Yeah, and you can sign up for our free newsletter that we send out every Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Very good. All right.
And
Oh,
leave us a comment.
Yeah. But there's more. Thanks for listening, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.